All right.
Right, can we start? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, we see you after so a long-awaited public meeting about the future of our stage, this building. I hope you read the report that we sent you all to the City Council, and you went through the numbers. So we are here to decide about what to do with this building as discussed. Either we're going to renovate it or we're going to demolish and build new one, of course. So just a short briefing, like the paper I sent you just briefly explained how according to our experts, they made a short briefing, detailed also, but I hope you read it, about the whole building. And they came across some major problems, structural damages, and that need to be tackled. So the report, I'm not going to bore you with the details of it, make some calculations which you should have hopefully at home read. And we came to the conclusion that if we repair, it's going to be quite more expensive than if we just demolish and make it a new one. And we have an available budget of 700K, so this means that everything that goes above it, you have to pay, like each one of you, right? Okay, so please cast your vote. Who is for demolishing?
Wait a minute! I know there are more relevant details. Unbiased. Let's check architectural democracy.
Shall we do that? Well, I don't know if you're familiarized with architectural democracy. Have you heard about this application? I don't know. Have you? Okay, then I explain briefly. Maybe we should, because one of our elderly members demands. Okay, let's just go for that. And well, I just explain briefly. Apparently, this is a new app out there that allows people to reconstruct their own buildings, like a 3D generated BIM model, like in previous presentation, and add information to it. So the information is decentralized. So it's loading. Just a second. All right, here it is. It analyzes where we are. So apparently it's right. Okay, so I'm here. Let's just zoom out and see. Okay, so here's the building. If I click on it, it shows a bunch of relationships. This is the information of any kind. It's always a relationship bound to contextualize, right? So sounds good. Maybe I'll zoom out a bit. Okay, these relationships go really far away. If I click on one, it shows some details about it, but we don't need to go there. Let's just go back to the model. Okay, so what we need is to say that we're going to demolish, right? Let's just try that. I mean, according to our request to see if it's okay. So, oops, oh, what is this? Oh, so it's apparently checking that there are some things that we should be accounting for, not just apparently not just money. So let's check it out. It says here that there is an interesting local enduring materials like this crane. I mean, if we are going to demolish this, surely we're not going to have interesting or long-lasting materials. We're going to surely build with more cheap materials than this one was done. It's a good point. Let's check out the other ones. Let's check here. So this is shown that there's in this area the happiness levels are highest in all the region. So the people who came here, and I see it in your faces, are super happy. They come very sad here, and they go very happy home, and they become sad again because it's bad weather. So looks like, yeah, this was as shown in the beginning, this is about heritage. Apparently, there was a famous personalities that came here and gave this as a present to this locality. So this has a lot of memories, not only this one, but if you click on this, because what this represents is the financial relationship, this represents the technical relationships, and this the social one. So it's always what comes in and goes out, what influences me and or influences back. So you can actually quantify that in a way, right? So, so this shows a bit more than just the numbers, right? So are we still sure you want to demolish? So please vote again. Demolition or renovation?
Which one?
So we need a mixed solution, demolish some parts and renovate others.
Excuse me, I didn't understand.
So we need a mixed solution to demolish some parts and renovate others.
Well, what do you guys think? Should we have a mixed solution? Is it either demolish or renovate, or should we maybe have it mixed? Maybe demolish some parts and renovate some parts? What do you think?
Yeah.
Is it more a consensus like that? No? You're for that? I give you a pizza.
Do we have a counting mechanism?
Pick up, sir.
Do we have a voting counting mechanism where you can take the votes?
Yes, it's in my desk. It says everyone agrees. Everyone agrees. Thank you so much for that. So okay, so it computed already automatically, and the architect needs to investigate further and bring more mixed solutions. Then we can vote again on those solutions, right? Because there will be different budgets, but you will have to incorporate not just the money, but other things that are relevant, right? If you want to take some pieces out of here, even if it's a bit more expensive, maybe it has an important meaning. Like, for example, do you know that this room is the first design factory in the world, and now they are replicating into other countries? So why would we then destroy this place? It has already maybe an historical meaning. A changing of a factory now, should we demolish it? So, but this is not so efficient, right? I mean, it's efficient. It would be efficient for the landowner to just demolish and build new. It's done. Let's go home and done it. But it's not for the community. We will lose information. We lose history. So, is being then efficiency? Are we collecting the right data? Which data is being quantified? And of course, are we efficient beings? Which we are always striving to be efficient, but why are we doing so if we are not efficient beings? Think about it. So, if we are digitalizing everything in our society, and we are mixing up the information is being interlinked all the time, we have to be really careful what and for whom we are using this information. We cannot just be saying the heat, the sun, the numbers we can quantify, but there's far more that we need to quantify. The BIM gives an opportunity and all these technologies to improve that. But it's a challenge, but it should not be a lost opportunity. A short comment about how this app that we showed, architectural democracy, because we talked about this before, and there are many implementations one can do, and business models. You do not have to rely only upon advertising or governmental funding. And there's a lot of imagination out there. In this case, we are relying, for example, on application for museums or tourism. There's a lot of ideas there. So, but do remember that information can be easily manipulated. We manipulated you from the very beginning, from the narrative before. Even now, I am manipulating you in saying what we have to do. We also had some nice collaborators. And, well, I hope you understood the message. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, question.
will show the what you say the connection, the perspective of other things like historical importance and other things. So these what I think these are not quantifiable things. So how can you quantify it and make it a more logical way to think like it can be demolished or it can be renovated? Because people think about the data. So how can you?
Well, what does it mean to be quantifiable? For example, this model is the idea is that it's decentralized generated, meaning like in the team before, you create a model with photogrammetry with your own phones, and you have a 3D platform where you can share information, you can add information to it. So the quantification of information added relies upon many factors. It can be as the person who added information to this microphone. So this microphone gave me a nice memory, but a nice story. I added information into the 3D model. How many people, was I present when I added this information? So maybe that level of information has a higher rating. How many people have connected this information to others? Or is it how many people are related to? In principle, it's the same as in social media. Of course, the algorithms can change, and it's a matter to discussion. But you can quantify the linkage of information, even if it's subjective. It's happening already in social media.
Any more questions?
I actually had the same question. Oh shit, I forgot mine. Yeah. Because it's subjective, right? And you can't say, probably never, it will be an objective evaluation or whatever. So you actually showed us how this process is going to work right now, but is there any way how we can solve this problem?
Solve which problem? Exactly the problem that I posed?
Yeah.
Well, it's, if there are, and it's growing. I mean, it's not that I'm inventing the wheel, but it's growing. If there are a number of platforms like this that propose decentralized information, and a variety of platforms, as many as possible, doing that, we have what we in democracy call the balance and checks of power. Media is power, and information is power. So if you have different platforms suggesting different approaches, you will have, maybe in a public meeting deciding if you're going to demolish or renovate a building, you will have people saying, like our brave colleagues, saying, well, we can use this, let's check it out. Okay. And then other ones say, well, let's also check it out, this one, and so there's a consensus. That's quite an important. I mean, this goes a bit beyond. I just wanted to stress this. This goes a bit beyond and I do want to stress this in Aalto Beam Summer School, because we are all quite focused in our technical work many times, and we need to, as Michel many times points out, we need to go outside, a bit more holistic, but then come back into our field and think in both ways, like what is my work doing for what I think should be done for the society, not just a specific part of my job, or regardless of what it comes to, or what it brings to the society. You know, we have to be more aware in our jobs.
Yeah. So you are talking about decentralizing the information, but as soon as you begin collecting information from various places, are you verifying? Because in today's day, there is so much of this false information and automatic generation of false information. How do you check that? How do you cut that?
Well, it's not an easy task again, and everyone struggles with that at all software companies, as you know. But the one way normally has been done is because automatic processes have patterns which can be identified automatically also and diminished. I mean, it's still working, and it's the simple one that is click if I'm a robot. Often I'm not a robot, right? That's the latest one. But it's always going to change. It's always going to be updated.
All right, this is the last question, and then we'll have
The internet is just an example of what you mean. No? Everyone could put fake information on the web. Wikipedia is another example of the open data many people change the wrong data. They take the wrong data.
Like in the couple of days ago, in the presentation, in one of the presentation, one of the person had mentioned about the AI, building and constructing the buildings in the near future. So, like of course, the AI, the artificial intelligence or the computer cannot handle these sort of emotional issues or the issues regarding the history or the current or the happiness of the people. So, how do you think you can deal with these sort of stuff?
Well, I think artificial intelligence will deal with emotional issues much better than we do. Much better.
And also the artificial intelligence converts to augmented intelligence.
Exactly.
So you should think about that.
I think now we have crossed the limit of 3 questions. Now we have 4 suggestions. But we'll take one suggestion. We are kind of running out of time. So if one.
Maybe speaking about democracy, it'd be nice to hear about everybody in
Yeah.
the state.
Thank you. All right, thank you.
Well, it's not always a democracy. They're looking good. They're just looking good.
All right, now we have the.
We elected him to come here.
We have the.
Yes, I just want to say at last that there is no any structural problems in the building, and we are just using this information to redirect you to the decisions that we want.
Right. Okay, so now we have the ecosystem consultants presenting what they found in their